Hey guys, welcome to BadgerandBlade.com. I'm the Vez2, and welcome back to our continuing series of instructional wet shaving tutorial videos. I'm here on vacation. Well, it's for work, but it's a vacation. You can see I'm on a lovely island destination. So I thought I'd do a little video on how to travel with your shave gear. So the first thing you want to consider when you're traveling, regardless of if you're going by an airplane or a boat or a car or whatever, is getting some sort of bag or dop kit. You can get something very simple like this that just has a single zippered pouch for around $5 or $10. You can get some other bags like this one that once you open it up has some different pouches to separate all your stuff out. These can be had relatively cheaply or up to hundreds of dollars if you're getting some fancier leather models. So really whatever's in your budget, you want to find something that that's going to hold all of the stuff that you want to take with you. Now if you're going by a car, you know, usually you're not too space restricted. You can take whatever you want. So if you get a dop kit that's a little bit larger like this, you know, you can grab your full-size bottles of aftershave, you know, your full tubs of soap. You can fit all your toothpaste and toothbrushes and everything that you would need. All your bathroom needs would be in here. If you're taking your stuff on an airplane, you definitely want to conserve your space. Now, if you're going for a long time, you're taking a check bag. You can put whatever you want in your check bag. It's not until you worry about trying to get stuff into a carry-on bag that you're limited by TSA restrictions. The restrictions for liquids for TSA is everything has to fit into a quart-sized bag, like a Ziploc bag, and nothing can be greater than 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters. So that's actually a lot. That means that you can pretty much take a full-size bottle of aftershave. Most of the full-size bottles are right around 3.4 ounces or 100 milliliters. But if you're only going for a weekend trip, you don't really need to take a full bottle. So what I like to do is find some smaller bottles to put your aftershave into, like this one. This is a hand sanitizer bottle. This is a 1.5 ounce size bottle. I filled this up with aftershave before I left. And this is a perfect bottle for putting aftershave in. You can put shaving cream in here. Hair gel, whatever, sunscreen. You can put lots of things in these bottles. These are great. Now another thing that I really like to do is when you do travel, see what kind of bottles your hotel uses. This is the hotel's body wash, and it is 0.8 ounces. So when I'm done with this, I'm going to empty it out, take the label off, and now I've got a perfect travel bottle that'll hold a perfect amount of aftershave that'll last me all weekend. If I stretch it out all week, or I can just take a couple of these, and you can fit a whole bunch of these inside your quart-sized bottle and take a whole bunch of stuff with you. Now, these are ideal as far as a hotel bottle, but sometimes you're going to have bottles like this. This is shampoo. Doesn't look ideal, you can't see through it, but you can still empty this out and reuse this for travel needs as well. Another thing I like to do with these bottles is once I'm all done with them, I'll use these for sample bottles. So if I'm doing a piff, I'm going to send a sample of aftershave out to somebody. I like collecting these bottles to use for those purposes as well. Now, if you're taking your razor with you, one thing that I would not suggest doing, and if I can find it here. Now I brought along my Fat Boy razor with me because I'm going to be here for about a month, so this is the one that I wanted to use. Now I have a duplicate, so this is a backup. Now I wouldn't recommend bringing your primary razor, your daily driver with you, because you don't know what could happen. It could get lost, it could get stolen, it could get knocked off the counter and broken. You know, your routine is going to change, so you want to make sure that you've got a razor that you don't mind losing, or something happening to it. You know, if it breaks or it gets lost, it's not the end of the world. So I would recommend getting a second razor as a backup if you don't already have one, and using that. Like I said, this is a backup razor. I have a couple other Fat Boys at home, so if something did happen to this one, it wouldn't break my heart. Another thing is just go get yourself a cheap Super Speed or a cheap Tech, and that'll be a good backup razor. Now another thing I would recommend, you saw I dug this one out of a bag. I wouldn't recommend tossing your razor just loosely into a bag. It could get dinged up and whatever. I usually wrap this up in a towel or something before I put it in my bag for travel purposes, because I don't have a case for this one. But making a case for these is relatively easy. If you got a one-piece razor like this, a really easy travel case that'll protect your razor would be to get a plastic soap container that's used for taking a bar of soap on travel with you. You can get a piece of foam and cut it to fit inside that soap container, and then make a little cutout that this will put right into. So that will protect it against any kind of shaking or anything bumping into it. Now if you got a three-piece, you can use something like this. It's a little metal gumball tin that I used, and the same thing goes if you had an Altoids tin. A lot of people use Altoids tin for lots of different things. So you can just open this up, and you can see I've got a handle, I've got the head of the razor, and I've got a pack of blades in there. I just got a little piece of foam sheet and put in the top and bottom, so that protects my razor. And then when I want to take it out and use it, it's just a matter of screwing the head on, and now I've got my razor all ready to go. Like I said, this thing will fit your three-piece razor. If you have a modern three-piece razor, sometimes the handles are a little bit bigger, so this might not work very well for those, but for an old Tech, it works perfectly. And if you don't want to take a full pack of blades with you, one thing that I did is underneath this piece of plastic, I just put a couple of loose blades in there, so that'll last me quite a few weeks actually on just a couple of blades. So this is a good travel kit. Nothing is shaking around in here, and then this fits very nicely into my travel bag. Now if you're going to be taking a brush with you, one thing that I would recommend is getting a synthetic brush. And the main reason I suggest a synthetic brush is they dry out a whole lot faster than your Boars or your Badger brushes. Especially if you're going to be packing up on the day you leave and you're going to be shaving in the morning. This thing's not going to be able to sit out on the counter all day and dry like you normally would at home. So once you're done using this brush, you can just wipe it down a couple of times on a towel. I did use this one probably less than an hour ago. I wiped it down on a towel, and it's nearly dry already. So these things dry really well and really quickly. But if you're concerned about space, then you've got some other options too. You can get some smaller brushes, and one very popular travel brush is the Simpson's Wee Scott. You can see very small. This will tuck away in any travel bag and be almost undetectable in there. Or any number of brushes. This one was a handmade brush that I got from a PIF. Somebody carved out this handle and put in a small knot, and you can see compared to the Wee Scott, it's still relatively small. And they also made this travel case for it, which is just a piece of hard plastic clear tubing with a couple of rubber end caps on it, and it just makes the perfect little travel case for this brush. Another thing that a lot of people use is old pill bottles. If you don't have any prescription drugs that came in a nice pill bottle, you can a lot of times go to a pharmacy and ask them if they have any extras, and if you're just looking for one for a brush, they might just give you one or sell you one for a few cents or a buck or whatever. Now if you're traveling, you want to kind of condense what you're taking with you. As I said, soaps, maybe you don't want to take a full puck of soap with you, and a great option is to take a shaving stick. The shaving sticks is just a piece of shaving soap, but put into a stick form. These are really easy to use. All you gotta do is wet your face, put a little bit of water on here, soften up the soap, and just rub it on your face. You actually apply the soap directly onto your face. Once you get a good coverage, then you just take your brush, obviously wet it first, and then just start lathering directly on your face. That's all there is to it. So you don't even need a bowl. You can actually do that with creams. If you're a cream guy, you can just take your cream. If you wet your brush, you can just squirt the cream directly onto the brush and just face lather directly from there. I'm a face lather guy, so I don't really think about taking a shaving bowl with me too much. But if you are a bowl kind of guy, then I consider just giving face lathering a try, especially if you're traveling. It cuts down on what you have to bring with you, and cuts down on the size if you just bring in a shave stick with you. Now, if you are going to bring a bowl, obviously bring something that's plastic or unbreakable. One thing that I really love for that purpose would be a plastic salsa bowl. You know, you've seen these at all the restaurants, but if you go to like Dollar Tree, you can get them for $2 for $1. All different colors. They're lightweight, plastic, and they're textured on the inside, so they make a perfect lather bowl if you are going to be lathering in your bowl. So that's all the tips I have for you. I'm probably forgetting a few things that I wanted to mention, but if you have any questions about traveling, put them in the comments below. If you like this video, subscribe to our channel. Like the video, let us know what you think about them. If you've got any questions, I'll try to answer them in future videos. As always, I'm the Vez 2. Enjoy your shaves, and as always, your mileage may vary. Hey guys, Vez 2. I told you I was going to forget something, and I did. I forgot something really important, so I wanted to come back and make sure I got this in there. If you're traveling by airplane and you're taking your gear on your carry-on, there's TSA requirements for your razors as well, and I forgot to mention this. I can't believe I forgot it, but here it is. So you're allowed to take with you disposable razors. You're allowed to take with you cartridge razors. You're allowed to take with you safety razors, but you can't take the blades. Safety razors, it specifies without the blades. You can't take any kind of loose blades, utility blades, anything like that. So your blades that you bring, they got to be in your check bag, or just bring a razor and buy the blades once you get to your destination. If you're someplace where you're not going to be able to get to a CVS or a Walgreens to be able to buy some blades, then forward some blades off to your hotel or wherever you're going. Send them ahead of time so that they're there for you when you arrive. So that was the most important thing. Just don't bring any loose razor blades. Don't bring any blades in your razor. Make sure you take those out first, because if they see this, they might take it out and inspect it. Also, if you're going to be traveling through TSA, give yourself extra time, because just because it's allowable by TSA doesn't mean the TSA agent knows it's allowable. So if they take this razor out and there's no blade in it, they still might try to tell you that you can't take it in there, even though you have every right to take it with you. So make sure that you have enough time to work through the situation, talk to their supervisor if you need to. But the last thing you want to do is be in a rush as you're trying to go through there and them say that they need to confiscate your razor. Because at that point, you might just need to get through there, so you make your plane, and you might just go, well, just keep it anyways, and you don't want to get into that situation. Also, I did run into a situation one time when I went through TSA. I was taking a puck of soap with me. It was like a 4 or 5 ounce full-size jar puck of soap, and it got flagged by TSA. And so they took it out, they looked at it, and they said, you can't take this. I'm like, well, why not? It's soap. They said, well, it falls under the liquids and creams rule. And so that's something to be aware too. You know, shaving cream, even if it's like a crope, like a soft cream, soft soap, if it's not densely hard, they still will consider that a cream. Luckily, I was still able to convince them that, hey, it's just soap. It says soap right on the box. It's not a cream, and I was able to bring it with me. But you could run into a situation like that. So again, just make sure that you have time to get through, especially if you're taking your shaving gear. It's you know, a very precious thing that we take with us. So you want to make sure you have time to work through any situations that might arise. So again, I'm the Vez 2. Enjoy your shaves. Your mileage may vary. Thanks.